And how are you choosing these polling stations that you are visiting?
You know, what I have seen so far is that everything is well organized, and I expect a high outcome of voters because already in the morning there was a huge crowd in the polling stations where I had been, and I think the people, they take their chance to go and vote. Yeah, everything is fine. The weather, the mood of the people, and so until now I can say everything is okay.
You know, when I was discussing your mission with some Uzbek officials and also experts, they were telling me that they wish that you would spend more time in the country studying the society here, specifically the mentality, and they wish that you would bring your team for a more deeper research so that you would then provide a deeper assessment. How do you see that? Because time is always a constraint. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be here forever. But
here you have to see two things. One is we have long-term observers who spend months here, and for politicians like me who have to do their work also in their home countries, yeah, it would be better to stay longer, but we don't have the chance. There is no chance for us to spend more than 5 days in a country. So we need the expertise from the long-term observers, but we are well connected with them, and we share what they see in the country and how they judge the developments.
How do you choose your long-term and short-term observers? Do you look for people who have at least some background on Uzbekistan?
These long-term observers, and especially the head of the long-term observers, are experienced people who did a lot of election observation. And also for me, I did more than 20 of these observations, and I was here in Uzbekistan in December 2019. And I was also here in June there was a huge conference of the United Nations. So when you are several times here, you get certain impression of the country, of the mentality, of the culture of the country.
Overall, you feel like you have enough time, you have enough knowledge and information to make the kind of assessments you will eventually, right?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to listen and to take the chance to meet people on the street, ordinary people, and not only officials.
Have you been doing that?
Yes, I did it. I took the metro several times, and I spoke with people in the metro station. And I also went to the Webster University. I met their students. Yeah, so I took this chance.
What is one thing that you heard from the Uzbek people that really surprised you, that illuminated the situation?
Okay, how should I say? I observed also elections, for example, in Ukraine. And here, when you meet older people, they speak of the good old times of the Soviet time. I didn't meet people here who speak of the good old time in the Soviet.
Really?
This is a big difference between countries like the Ukraine, for example, and here in Uzbekistan. This is one thing. The second thing is that people here, how should I say? I also met people, they are not interested at all in these elections because they say there's no change and they also said it in a very negative way. But this was a minority, but they were very outspoken. Today in the morning I also went to the Roman Catholic church. I met their nuns, and I was surprised how open they can celebrate their faith. I think, speaking of religious freedom, yeah, Uzbekistan is a real free country.
My name is Ricardo Manara. I've been posted here in the past as a diplomat from 2011 to 2016. Then I've been also several times later in Uzbekistan. And well, I'm here for the first time for this election day. And
did you come being invited by the Uzbek government, or is this an independent?
No, this time I've been invited by the government, yes, by the embassy.
What do you think the Uzbek government expects from visitors like you when they invite you to the elections?
I imagine they just want to have some impression from people that maybe have already known the country, and to see the development, the changes which have been done in these years.
And what are the major changes that you have seen so far?
Well,
Some of them.
I think it's quite impressive, the changes from the town. Sometimes there are points in the town that I hardly recognize. So I must figure out exactly where I was, because sometimes I'm not so sure.
Because you served here.
Yeah, I served. Yes, for 5 years.
And
So
when was that?
from 2011 to 2016, so not so long ago. And
You basically left right before Shavkat Mirziyoyev came to power? or
yes,
here?
almostly in September. So exactly more or less the time.
And did you observe any elections during that time?
No, not
As a
at the
diplomat,
time.
you
No,
never
never
had a
had.
chance.
No.
Yeah.
But
So Uzbekistan constantly claims that this is a new country now. I mean, that's what we
Yeah.
hear from the government, that people have changed, the mentality is changing, that there is a certain level of at least some political freedom, and that it's not the same country anymore, that the systemic reforms President Mirziyoyev started, they say, is paying off. Have you been observing that process?
I tell you, I arrived in 2018 in Uzbekistan, or 2019, with some companies now. I am a private person. And when I gave my passport to the police, of course the guy must have saw that I had been in the past here. And then he told me, welcome home. So it's a really big change, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
From what used to be at the
Yeah,
airports,
well.
right? And you remember.
And that's, I think, a first step. Quite a first step. Quite interesting, I think. It's something that more than every other things can tell you. A different climate.
So-
And furthermore, I think also the offer of products on the shelves is different. The atmosphere, I think, is of something changing. You see also from the construction, the structure of the town, which is more modernizing. Also the structure, of course.
So visual changes,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So what is one thing, though, you would advise the Uzbek government, because they will be asking you for your feedback, to be constructive, for example, what would you tell them to do now to move forward?
I think they're moving forward in a positive way. Let's say before there was big problem in Central Asia, which were actually out of the reality. Yes, between the two
Disagreements
countries,
between the
disagreement.
countries.
Yes. Now I think that the spirit is different, and it's very positive from this point of view, because furthermore you have to think in countries like a country that big area that stay together. They have the same interest, the same problematic. So I think it's quite positive this. And also more openness towards the war. It's of course not easy, because it's a strategical point, Central Asia and Uzbekistan itself. So of course it has to be a very difficult balance between different powers, some growing, some other maybe live in the area. So it's something not easy, I understand. But to be open toward the world is something quite important, I think.
Regional integration.
Yes, yes,
Solidarity.
yes. All these are values that I think is important.